All right. Well, J.A., it's very nice to meet you.
Yeah, very nice to meet you, Max.
I'm a huge fan of your work. The Impossible, Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, now Lord of the Rings of Power. First and foremost, I'm wondering how familiar were you on the world of J.R.R. Tolkien and the Lord of the Rings when you signed on to this project?
Well, I read the books when I was a kid. Um, and I was like, actually, I read the books again when I knew that I was going to do the show. And it was interesting that the reading is totally different when you read those books when you're a kid and when you read them as a grown-up. You can tell how rich and complex is the world of talking that can address at the same time to a child, but then you discover new things when you're an adult, you know. So I was very familiar. Actually, was one of the main reasons I wanted to be involved in the show.
And was Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy an aesthetic inspiration for the show, or did you want to distance yourself from what came before and create sort of your own spin on the material?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we love the movies. We also the movies and we love them. But the moment you start to develop a show that it's in a different age, you need to create everything from scratch. There was nothing that we see in the show that we had seen in previous films. So we focus in trying to understand what was that world that that we haven't seen before on the screen. Actually, the references were never the movies because we were referring to a different era. So I remember talking to the costume designer and talk about not Peter Jackson movies, but Russian movies, for example. Or when I talked with the visual effects, I was giving them references from paintings and things like that, but not from movies.
So the first two episodes that you direct, they really set the tone and atmosphere for the rest of the show, which gives the audiences a flavor of the scale of the show, while also introducing them to the main characters that will populate the next six episodes. Sorry. I'm wondering, how do you balance out such an expansive and massive scale while also keeping the focus on the story's main characters and introducing them to sort of the conflict that they're going to deal with the next episodes?
Well, I mean, this is something when you read the books, you can tell the scale, but at the same time, you can tell how rich and detailed was the world of talking. So it's super rich. I mean, it's like I think always the secret is focusing in the small details and then use the landscape. That is something that you can easily see in Tolkien's books. Use the landscape to increase the psychology and increase the way you can tell the story of these characters. You know, it's very fascinating when you read that. And to me, it's visual language. You know, so you use every single detail to tell the story. You use the landscape, you use color, you use textures, you know, but you have a very good guide, which was these characters that Tolkien created and these worlds that you know so well from the books.
And I believe you've worked with cinematographer Oscar Parua for a very long time. I think since your 1st film. I'm wondering what was your collaboration like with him for the show, and how did you want to achieve that sort of cinematic look and feel for the series?
Well, I think I know Oscar since we went together to film school many years ago, and I know how much he loves beauty. Every frame that he does is so beautiful. So I knew that he was perfect for this world because there is beauty is a very important element, a very important idea in Tolkien's world. You know, when the way he talks about big ideas like good and bad, darkness and light, the ugly versus the beauty. You know, it's very much like reading fairy tales. You know, and Oscar is perfect in creating these atmospheres and to go for the beauty, but also the darkness that we created in movies like The Orphanage or A Monster Calls. So I knew he was going to be perfect for this one.
Now, did directing a film like Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom help you in any way to craft some of the more bigger action set pieces and visual effects heavy sequences of the first two episodes?
Well, I mean, can you say the question again, please?
Yeah,
Maybe you
sure. When did directing a movie like Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom help you in any way to sort of craft some of the bigger action set pieces and visual effects, sort
yeah,
of heavy
yeah,
sequences
yeah,
of the episode?
for sure. First of all, this was a TV show. This is a television show, so it's a different media, and it was very challenging how we were going to be able to fit those massive set pieces that takes so much time to shoot, to prepare to shoot, and to do the post production into the schedule of a TV show. That was very challenging, and I'm glad that somehow everybody went for that, and Amazon had the vision to go for that. Like creating something that was not television in that sense. Television has changed a lot in the last years. So it takes time. It takes time to prepare, to shoot, and to do the post production. Of course, all that experience was very helpful, and there were actually like lots of moments that I was like pushing the guys, like say, okay, I think we can do that. I think we're gonna make it. And some of the scenes that at the very beginning we're considering that, okay, maybe this is too much. It's gonna take us so much time. There was a moment that everybody on board said, okay, let's try it, let's gonna do it. And we did them, and you can see them in the first 2 episodes.
Oh, for sure. And do you have a particular scene in the first 2 episodes that you shot that was your favorite to work on?
Yeah, I mean, I really like all the action in the sea. That was one of the most fun scenes to shoot. Most complicated too, because shooting the water is very complicated, very slow. And I really like that scene with the orc in the kitchen and in the second episode. That was a lot of fun. Like introduce that kind of like horror element in Tolkien's world was very exciting.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, it was really great talking to you today, J.A., on the show. Congratulations once again on a really, really, really good show. I wish you all the best on your future projects, and I hope you have a really, really good rest of your day.
Thank you so much, Max. Thank
Thank
you.
you.